Hello, 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 and welcome everybody. We have a super exciting show ahead of us here in this AMA session between Another One and TEMPLA talking about the new Unworld Boots. My name is LAF. I will be hosting this session. It is my great pleasure to welcome everybody into the stream. We were live across a couple of different platforms, which means that you're able to tune in pretty much wherever you want from. I am joined here by some of the greatest minds in digital fashion of today. Our very own Marco Stagliano. I hope I'm saying that right. I hope I'm not butchering your name, my friend.
Almost.
Lionel. Okay. Barely getting away with it. Barely getting away. Lionel Waymel and Sam Fisher. Welcome, guys. First off, how are you doing today? Are you feeling good?
Pretty good, man. Pretty happy to be here.
Pretty happy to have you.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I mean, my post apocalyptic background.
Well, still, if you're
Super,
feeling good in that kind of an environment, that definitely says
right?
something, man. We're all about the positivity here. We are going to slowly but surely just kind of introduce the overall topic of today's stream. Of course, you lovely gentlemen being the figureheads of the two companies that are collaborating here in bringing something awesome to the world. Marco is another one's CEO and co-founder. Lionel is another one's visual fashion director, and Sam is Templa's head of design. So today, obviously, like we mentioned, we will be talking about our collaboration on the groundbreaking Unworld Boots. We'll talk a little bit about the projects themselves, just to kind of give an introduction to anyone who may not be familiar. There are obviously people coming in from Another One side, obviously people coming in from Templa side, who may just not know that much about the other collaborator, and sometimes there are people who just kind of pop in randomly and have no clue what's going on. So for all those people who may not be aware, we're kind of going to give a little bit of a breakdown on exactly who we are and what we do. And then we're going to go through some questions. We have kind of prepared questions of our own, but we also want the audience to ask questions as well. And if we have some good ones, we're going to kind of pick them out at the end and try to see if we can squeeze some answers out. I am going to do my best to get some alpha out of these guys. That is kind of my job. I'm going to try. I'm not saying I'm going to succeed,
Sounds
but I'll
good.
definitely do whatever I can. So to kick things off, I would like Marco to just give an introduction of himself and Another One to the audience. Marco, please go ahead, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. So, hi everyone, this is Marco. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Another One. As said, background in corporate finance, M&A investment, and then I got in touch with the first crypto and then the NFT space. Me myself as also Lionel, an avid sneakerhead, so that's the connection that I had with the let's say, the DGen world of NFTs. And from that, we started in 2021 to conceiving a project that today became our platform, Web2 and Web3 digital enabler for business to create experiences and products. So a new generation of products that allow brands to keep in touch with consumers, and for consumers to monetize and also benefit from different advantage, both offline and online, through our digital services.
Beautiful, beautiful. I always, I like kind of, giving my own spin on things, but it is always the best possible thing to get, a definition of something from someone who basically made the whole thing. There is nothing that I could do that would be able to present it as well as you, my friend. So that was beautifully said.
That's practice. That's practice.
I mean, has to be a part of it, right? Fair enough. Fair enough. Lionel, if you could just also say a few quick words about yourself as well, my friend.
Yeah, sure. Look, I'm French Australian. My background is sales and digital marketing. As Marco mentioned, I'm also a long-time sneakerhead. I've been collecting sneakers for way too long, way too many, stacking up, here and there at home. So that's the connection, obviously, with Marco initially. And my role at another one, digital fashion director, it's basically to oversee the digital project that we have, create partnership like the one with TEMPLA to bring the digital solution that we have to the world, and to enhance the experience, the customer journey as well, and to make it as seamless as possible. And and we have produced with TEMPLA a very new project that basically blends all the features that we wanted to showcase between the physical and bringing a digital experience that I'm sure we will dive into. But in a nutshell, that's basically me.
Beautiful. Thank you kindly, my friend. And Sam, I believe that just leaves you. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and about TEMPLA?
My background is in fashion, more on the high fashion side, working here in Australia, and also spent a bit of time abroad, working with the likes of Vivienne Westwood and others. So for TEMPLA, I'm head of creative there, and TEMPLA, we're a business much like another one, which is kind of spread around the world. We've got an arm in Antwerp, in Europe, and in Hong Kong, but the creative side is based here in Melbourne, Australia, which is sort of counterintuitive given what we do. So TEMPLA's primary remit is sort of technical alpine apparel, but we've got this really strong crossover with like a high fashion sort of aesthetic. When the brand was founded about 5 or 6 years ago, there really wasn't much going on in that crossover fashion alpine space. It's a fairly populated space now, particularly after the Moncler Genius projects and that sort of thing. But when TEMPLA started quite a while ago, it was a really open space, and they had some really great success winning the ISPO award, brand new brand award. And we've kind of just gone from, in that sense, strength to strength. There was a super nice collab we did with Raf Simons, again, sort of pegging the brand in that high fashion space. But basically what the brand tries to do is to bring an alternate aesthetic into the mountains. And my job specifically, coming from more of a straight high fashion background, is to really bring that fashion edge to the brand, or to maintain that fashion edge. The technical side, the technical sort of ski and snowboard side, is something that I've learned along the way, because there's a whole bunch of important features that are required to make a good snowboard or a ski outfit. And then there's quite a lot of technology that's embedded inside the garment as well, in terms of waterproofing and membranes and all of that sort of thing. So for me, that's been more the learning side. But then moving into the project that we're about to talk to now, a lot of new learnings as well. So yeah, this has been our first foray into the footwear space, which we're super excited about, and we will talk about that more. But yeah, that's me, and that's the brand.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your answers, everyone. Like we mentioned, we do have a set of questions that we have prepared, right? And then we'll see if any, particularly interesting questions come in from the audience. If not, I have a couple of ideas of my own on what I want to ask. But let's actually first get through these ones that are already prepped. Now, I'm going to kind of go in a circle. It's going to be a weird circle. It's going to change a little bit. But each of these questions are going to be directed, for the most part, at one of you at a time. And let's just try to maybe keep answers to like 2 minutes or so. We can go a little bit over if, we're feeling like we have to get into some additional detail on a specific topic just to kind of provide more insight to the audience. But let's just kind of try to keep it to 2 minutes or so to just kind of keep with the intended timeline here. So Sam, I actually want to ask you the first question, my friend. What inspired the unique design of the Unworld boots, and how do they reflect this collaboration?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. As I said, footwear is a natural transition for any apparel brand. Like, you want to complete an outfit ultimately.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it the other day, and there's always, because the heart of our brand is really deep winter. This is where we make the most sense. This is where we're the happiest. And whether you're in the mountains or you're in the city, there's this moment where it's freezing cold. It's a pretty grim day outside, and you open the wardrobe and you're just hoping to lay your eyes on something that's going to give you that warm, cozy feeling, but also make you kind of feel supported at the same time. And we do that, not to toot my own horn, but we do that really well with apparel. Like that, the whole idea behind the brand is stuff that's pretty epic. It's got an edge of badass to it, but the downfill or the waterproofing, it's so solid that you put this stuff on and you feel amazing. And I always feel like I would love to have something like that on my feet, and to now move into this space. And Lionel many years ago and we used to talk about footwear, and it's always been a dream of mine to go into the footwear space, but to have something that you can step out in a super relaxed, casual way, but be really like secure in your footing, cozy and warm on your feet. Like, I guess this is the heart of the project to me. And then obviously we want to bring a new aesthetic to the market. I'm not interested in repeating anything that's already there. We want to bring something that's kind of pushing a little bit, that's got an exciting shape, sort of boosted. We've got a bit of, sorry, I'm probably going over my time allocation, but TEMPLA has a bit of a hip hop kind of heritage to it. So it's got that swagger, and so it's kind of like bringing all of these elements together, but fundamentally something that when you put your feet into them, it's like you're on a lounge chair with a cozy doona around you. Like, it has to be this. Yeah.
I love how that sounds, honestly. As a hip hop fan, I can appreciate that. So
Yeah.
the style is very, very important, but obviously the functionality is something that's kind of really, really important for your brand when it, is strictly or heavily at least focused on what you are, which is winter weather, right? So
Yeah.
it has to be a mix of both in order to actually be the best of both worlds. So kudos to you on that, my friend. I love the
Yeah.
answer.
And just sorry, just to
Go ahead,
put
go ahead.
one last tiny thing in, like, especially in inclement conditions, the difference between being in a happy place and being in a really unpleasant place is so much about that, staying warm and dry, and so these are like really key things for TEMPLA, and then that also had to be a really key moment for the boot as well. So yeah.
Okay, absolutely. I mean, I haven't been skiing or boarding in a while, but I remember obviously, it's like soaks through. It's bad on all kinds of
Not fun.
levels, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty, awesome answer. I love it. Lionel, I want to ask you this next question. Can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges and advantages that came through the blending of the physical and digital elements when it came to the creation of these Unworld boots?
Look, we start probably with the complexity of the challenges, I guess, that we've encountered during the development of the boots. The vision of the design that Sam brought to us, and knowing as well that we are, not copying anyone, not starting from any existing design. That was a huge challenge because that's one thing to draw on a piece of paper or on a digital screen a vision, but then to bring it to life, there are many challenges that we have to overcome. And thanks to one of our footwear advisor, Ricardo, who has managed to source the right manufacturer producer in Italy, and basically the technology that we are embedding into the boots, after sourcing all the materials and to basically tick all the boxes from TEMPLA's technical requirements, as Sam mentioned, to be comfortable, warm, and also efficient in different type of environment. Obviously, mostly winter environment or mountain environment. But I can tell you as well by experience, because I own a few pieces of jackets from TEMPLA. You look also very, very cool, and you feel super cool, in those garments, the jackets. So, and the boots is the same. So, to basically reproduce this type of feeling, we had to use premium material, which is definitely the case. And then to bring the digital elements into the creation of the boots, basically we brought our technology. So that's why as well it was making sense, to partner with TEMPLA. TEMPLA being a techwear company, fashion wear company, techwear company, and us being Web3 and obviously having our digital solution. The connection was pretty obvious. So by embedding, the NFC chip into the boots, we are able to authenticate the products and then deliver the digital experience with, sorry, a digital wearable, so people can start building their digital wardrobe. And we have a partnership with different platforms, one of which is Union Avatar. But yeah, like mostly the challenge was in the making. The challenge in the making, basically the vision of Sam a reality. Then blending the physical and the digital, that's something that we have already, I would say, mastered over the last projects that we had over the last 2 or 3 years almost, with another one.
Gotcha. So it was kind of like, let's say, a formula that you knew from before, but really the challenge was really applying it to this specific project in a way that will kind of fit the overall vision.
Yeah, developing a product from scratch, again, a footwear, I'm sure it doesn't sound easy, but it's definitely not easy when you are again, starting from, imagine the sole and then all the panels, everything that is involved, the stitching, the quality, the eyelets, and yeah, we went through several iterations on samples, prototyping, trying, working to have the right comfort, and again to match the level of quality that TEMPLA delivers, since the beginning of the existence of the brand. So yeah, and again for us it was an obvious collaboration. And I think when we started talking, and by the way, we started talking more than 2 years ago. That's to tell you that it was a long project, between talking and then shaping the idea, shaping the vision, deciding on which type of products, and then putting things in motion. It takes time. So yeah, and here we are now talking with you and with everyone here listening, We are very proud and happy to bring these fantastic boots to life. And yeah, we have a lot of, let's say, benefits packed up with the boots, the physical boots as well, but obviously on the digital experience that we'll
Beautiful.
talk about later.
Awesome. Oh, looks like Marco dropped. There could be a
Yeah,
connection
might have
issue.
Maybe
Uh,
maybe while he dropped out, just briefly, to add to what Lionel was talking about in terms of bringing something new to the market. I mean, having not been in footwear myself specifically before, from a garment perspective, creating something like from a blank sheet of paper is what I do every day. And my background in more of the avant-garde side of fashion, this is really why I do what I do, creating these interesting shapes and figuring out a way to bring a new language or vocabulary to a particular genre. In footwear, it's really not like that. And that's something that we had to learn kind of the hard way. Everything comes from a specific base, like there are these plastic foot shapes called lasts, and if you don't have one of those, you can't even start to imagine the silhouette of the boot. And when you think about the millions of iterations of, say, Air Force Ones out there on the market, or the number of signature versions of a particular shoe, I think I understand now why that is the way it is, because it's just so difficult to build every tiny component from the ground up from scratch. And that's essentially what we've been doing in the last sort of 2 years to 18 months. Just every tiny little component, trying to problem solve and find a way, and blank sheet of paper the whole project. So yeah,
it's quite
just
a
giving a
process.
little bit more to that sentiment. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you
as
for
we
giving
say,
that
it's not the
expensive.
destination, it's the journey, and
Yeah.
definitely has been a journey, and we've learned a lot, which is great, but that's it. Yeah,
Okay, awesome. Beautiful, beautiful. Marco, I want to kick this next question, these next two questions actually, your way, my friend. Let's start off first by getting a little bit of insight on how the embedded NFC technology from another one enhances the user experience for owners of the boots.
Oh yes, definitely. I would start with the basic that all digital enabler providers have as a solution. That's in Europe we call digital product passports. Essentially, is the digital identity of your product. From 2026, the UA regulation will make mandatory for any product to have their own digital product passports
Oh, wow.
because of authenticity, but also because of sourcing of the product, sustainability. So the end user, the customer, the consumer will have all the information, not only in terms of the quality of the product, the type of material that was used, but also the process, the company, or making sure that the product wasn't made by a company that are not compliant to different protocols or regulations, or don't use any kind of there is a big discussion on toys, especially in the US, especially for toys that are coming from China. The concept of metal. So that's one of the main let's say the more known and understandable features that we allow to embed into the wearables, and in this case in the Unworld Boots launched by TEMPLA and another one. The NFC will be embedded in the back of the boot. It will the NFC itself, for those of you that don't know, is a chip on the size of a button. It's the model that we use is highly encrypted, meaning that we pay a little bit more, a little premium price to secure the audience to have a technology that is encrypted, that is very hard to break, and we make the seamless pairing of the NFC and the NFT to create a further layer of authentication. So what happened is that for the 500 boots produced by TEMPLA, there would be 500 digital identity of the boots NFT that are linked to the NFC and paired. So each NFC ID will be paired with an NFT ID. So in the case of someone that was able to hack and copy the NFC ID, that is the only thing that you can copy, it won't be able to copy also the pairing with an NFT ID that has been minted on the blockchain that, as we know, is an immutable record of data. So that's that security level that we offer with the Another One technology. But it's not only there. Is not ending there, because we then create a more potential to unlock experience both offline and online. I know that that's probably the best person to describe the online features is Lionel, because he has been working for at least 18 months, and I think I will leave him the honor to explain the let's say the digital version of the wearable, because it's also his merit to find our amazing partners, Union Avatar, help us to create the also digital wearables. So what I can say is that the offline benefits that we can offer with this NFC technology is also experiential. So once you tap the NFC, you will be redirected to another Launchpad where you can claim the NFT that is paired with the booth. So you have your product passports. We will have also another function where you scan the NFC on the other booth, and you will have token-gated access to content that is only available for the owners of the booth. So that's something that is definitely new in terms of content, and also new in terms of benefits. We also will give access to our features, the Flex to Earn and the AN1 Connect. The Flex to Earn is, let's say, a reward and loyalty program that works with all Another One partners and all Another One ecosystem company. So let's say you go to a ski resort that is partnered with Another One, and you go with using your TEMPLA boots. You may have some advantage in that ski resort, and you can eventually have also your own experience just because you're wearing your TEMPLA boots. This is possible through the Flex to Earn, that is a reward and loyalty program that reads the NFC, read the NFC ID, and verify that NFC ID is paired with an NFT. I will have access also to the corresponding wallets, meaning that with a simple scan, I can give token-gated access offline, for example, entering a special event where the TEMPLA Unworld Collection is whitelisted for. I can receive a POAP for certifying that I was present at that event, and maybe I can participate to a raffle to win, I don't know, an outfit from one of the Another One fashion partners, and eventually even a reward. Everything with a simple scan that's leverage the connection between the NFC and the NFT. I hope I didn't lost all of you with this.
A lot to take in.
And the last thing is an AN1 Connect. Of course, this is a little bit difficult because it's usually a networking app, and scanning the NFC on the boots, it won't be the most natural movement. But still, let's say it's something that eventually we can evolve. Maybe Sam with the next drop with I don't know, a jacket that is more useful and for connecting. So essentially, we have those three advantages. One is authenticity. Second is token-gated content, and third, token-gated access offline.
Okay. Okay, that was quite an extensive answer. I think a lot of people learned a lot of stuff just from that now. Thank you, Marco. That was beautiful. Now, I was going to kick over this next question to you as well, but you kind of pointed towards Lionel for that one. So actually, I'm going to pass it over to him, and then I'm going to switch it out for another one later, no pun intended, that was meant for him to go to you. So Lionel, let's actually dive a little bit more into those exclusive digital contents and experiences that Marco was mentioning that will be unlocked through this technology.
Okay, so obviously Marco has covered the benefits of the physical aspect that you can benefit from with the NFC. But the NFC then unlocks also several digital benefits. So typically, once you have purchased the boots, after basically closing the sale window, because we're opening the pre-sale public window next week on Monday. So after that sales window being closed, which will go for 2 weeks, then after that period, people will be able to come to our platform, another one, create an account on our platform and claim the digital assets. One of which is an artwork, which has been, it's a set of artwork. We have like different environments, which represent the different worlds that potentially you could be encountering, you know, in the real world, but also in the digital world. And those worlds have been represented in 3D, not by AI, but by a 3D artist, Australian artist. And basically, there is like 1,000 of them. For each boot that you purchase, you are eligible to claim and receive one of those artworks. There are 7 tiers of rarity, from common to mythic, coming from as well epic, legendary, and so on and so forth. For people who are into NFTs, they know the logic. The more supply, the more common they are. The least supply, the more rare they are. And also for the top tiers, we have also multiple visuals, multiple basically artworks, including the same NFT. So those artworks will act as, let's say, a VIP pass or a pass for the another one and TEMPLA ecosystem environment. So people will be able to access different drops that we'll organize in the future on another one platform, but also with TEMPLA, the ability to basically access I won't say it's more or less a hidden section of the how would I say, like, not the dead stock, but the archive stock, the archive inventory that TEMPLA has. So like very premium pieces that they still have, but they are not on the market anymore, that people will be able to access and to be able to purchase, which will not be accessible from anyone who doesn't have basically the artwork. So that's one of the features that we will be implementing, you know, onto TEMPLA's website once basically the artwork will be distributed. That's one of the first benefits. Also, I would say that TEMPLA has been quite generous, offering the ability to the owners to claim $150 voucher to use directly on their website. So obviously, you straight away have some value to to redeem on their website. And on top of that, you're also eligible to receive a wearable. So when we say a wearable, it means that it's a digital twin that works and is basically connected to one of our partner platform, which is Union Avatar. So Union Avatar is an avatar builder solution, which is compatible with different other platforms. So you can go to that platform, create your avatar. It works with the webcam. Basically, take a selfie, or you can even use an existing picture of you. After a couple of minutes, it creates, generates a 3D representation of your face, and you have an avatar. Then you can dress that avatar. So in order to dress it, you have either existing default digital asset, digital wearable, which are already accessible for everyone, but you can also connect other digital assets like NFTs, exclusive, NFTs that then give you access to unique wearables. So straight off the bat, once you have purchased the boots, which will be made to order in Italy and they will be delivered by October, November to the end user. In the meantime, you are able to receive the artwork, and the allocation of the artwork is obviously randomized. For the wearable, people will have, I would say, a default wearable for now, and then once they will receive the boots, then they will scan the boots that they have received, and then they will have basically the wearable in line with the colorway of the boots that they have received, meaning that the boots that we are creating have like 3 colorways. We have the triple black, black and white, and the white ones. So if you have ordered the triple black version of the boots, then when you be pairing the NFC with the NFT, which will be a wearable, then you will be pairing with the NFT of the wearable, which has the triple black boots as a wearable for the Union avatar. Then the vision and the ongoing benefits, it's obviously that NFT will be interoperable with other platforms that we are going to partner with. It's not just Union Avatar. Union Avatar, it's basically the entry point to benefit from the wearables.
Okay.
So
I
think I
honestly
gave an overview.
and it's quite an overview, definitely. I honestly don't think there is any single piece of fashion out there that matches the overall value that people get from just one of these. It's absolutely insane. Beautiful.
Yeah, we try, like, sorry to for us, digital is not a buzzword. We are not like surfing
not.
another wave of buzz terms. It's literally the vision that we had for a while and that we are pushing. So that's why, again, when the connection with TEMPLA was made, for us it was very I won't say simple, but very obvious the way that we could articulate it. And as we are always, connecting with other platforms, establishing a strong relationship with partners, either on the Web3, but also on the Web2, as Marco said, then basically the garments or the wearable, the boots and the garments in general that we deploy with our solution, Phygital, then they will benefit with the new partners that we will have, right? So if it's a ski resort, yes, obviously that's an obvious connection with TEMPLA, but then potentially, let's say, as Sam said, there is a very strong connection with the hip hop scene.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we can find an agreement with a concert or like a hip hop artist who would be happy to give access to, I don't know, I won't say backstage, that's probably over promising, but at least to give some benefits through those boots. There are a lot of things that we can do, and the framework that I'm giving you here is not, let's say, fixed. It's modular. We can, deliver ongoing benefits once. Basically, the more items we have in circulation, the more people could benefit from.
Okay, that's a really, really cool idea with hooking up, making a connection with an artist and then like potentially looking through maybe backstage is a little bit too much, but some benefits, right?
No,
It could be a lot of really, really interesting things that could come from a collaboration of that kind. I think that's a really, really awesome idea, Lionel. Okay, I want to kick it over to Sam for this next one. Now, we mentioned that these boots were crafted in Italy. Can you explain some of the process and craftsmanship that was involved into making each of these pairs?
Yeah, I'm not sure how familiar your audience is with making shoes. Probably not very familiar, as none of us are outside of the shoe industry. But yeah, I mean, and not to be disparaging in any way, it's a pretty old school world, shoemaking, or at least I think it has been. Like when you think of traditional shoes with the leather sole and the upper stitched on, and it's molded onto this sort of plastic framework called a last. So this is the way it's been done for hundreds of years, and to an extent that is still the way it happens. So in terms of building up the components of a shoe, you have like a sole platform, and then you have like a midsole which connects the sole to the upper, and then the upper is like a sort of a jigsaw of numerous different pattern pieces that all come together. And once the whole thing is stitched together, you know, voila, we have a boot. What normally happens with especially a trainer these days is that whole sole module is molded in one piece. And we looked for quite some time at different types of sole modules, and there was nothing really out there that did what we wanted it to do specifically. So in our case, what we've done is we've taken like a tread profile from Vibram, and Vibram are like, you know, hiking gods in terms of like the soles that they make. So we took one of their tread profiles, and ours actually gets cut into the shape of the sole, and then that's laminated to our midsole, and then it's bonded with this like thick rubber sidewall. So it's almost got a bit of like a Vans or like a vulcanized kind of vibe to it. You know what I mean? Like, and this is where the interplay with a little bit your like Chuck Taylors, or you know what I mean? Like it's got a little bit that nod to old school kind of hip hop vibe. But in our case, it's super boosted. So the midsole is thick, like the whole thing is chunky. So yeah, there's this chunky platform, like the tread profile from Vibram, then these molded sidewalls, and part of the reason for having them so thick is to really extend that waterproofing up into the upper. Then on the upper, you've got like a sort of like a leather lacing system, and then the padded or wadded big upper, almost like a sort of like a moon boot, if your customer are familiar with this style of shoe. Basically, we wanted to take components that sort of lean on what's cool about footwear, like trainers, but also what we do at TEMPLA, which is our down jackets really are sort of like a core of our brand. And so we're mixing these two together. And when we brought this concept to the Italian manufacturers, we showed them the sketch and started to describe how we would like it to come together. I think they were a little bit baffled initially, and the reason for that is what I said earlier. Normally people work from an existing platform, whereas because we were trying to build something where every component had to be sourced individually, it was quite a painstaking process for them, because they had to, like this plastic foot had to be developed, and then we had to do a whole bunch of different iterations using the tread profile to get it to be cut in the right way and laminated in the right way. Like, I could go endlessly into the detail, but yeah, I think, and to what Lionel was saying earlier, we've learned a lot about the process. And I think for me, coming from the garment space into the footwear space and designing it on the piece of paper, you know, or the screen or whatever, I just thought, here's this cool shape, like, let's do it. What, you know, what this is what we do. But now looking back on that, I realize what we've done, you know, and how unique that is as a proposition. Whereas at the time, I think, you know, maybe sometimes it's good to come into something a bit naive and a bit blind, because then you can do something without knowing the rules, you can break them. And I think that's sort of, maybe it's obvious when you look at it, maybe it's not, but the process has been very much that way. Lots of different iterations, lots of samples getting sent from Italy to Australia, back to Italy. So yeah, it's been a big process. To go back to your question, the factory that we're working with, they specialize in a lot of handcraft, but I think that, you know, what is expected of quality footwear these days has really changed. You know, 5 to 10 years ago, there was no such thing as a $1,000 pair of trainers, you know, but the world has changed, and what we expect from our footwear and how we expect that to look, and the ingenuity and the cool vibe and the technicalness to it, like these are all shifting. And so I think also for a company like that, they've enjoyed this process as well, because it's exposed them. Everyone's leaning into this project in terms of what can we do and how can we do something differently, and sort of here we are. Yeah. And to what Lionel was talking about in terms of the wearables, I think, you know, for me personally, not being part of the Web3 community and understanding, you know, that you can have this mirror in the digital world of your existing wardrobe, and that we can offer.
Oh, you muted yourself, Sam.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
Sorry.
Oh, there we go. That's
we
better.
can, yeah, finished. That we can offer that to our customers. You know, like when you go to a lot of these avatar building solutions, it's a great starting point, but that's what it is. So if we can start to introduce something a little bit more unique, something a little bit more cool, like it's a really interesting starting point, and I'm super stoked to be a part of it. It's really cool. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the answer. I think a lot of people, like you said, probably like don't know the entire process unless they're actually like working in the industry. So I think this kind of gave a look into things and kind of helped them understand the whole process a little bit better. Maybe appreciate what came out of it a little bit more, hopefully, as well.
I
Alrighty.
wanna
Go
contribute
ahead,
on what Sam said, because unlike most of the audience, I went through the development of not one, not two, not three colorways, but 33 colorways of one model with our Incher One Meta. So I know how stressful it is, and also I'll tell you, my designer and then the factory, when I told them 32 colorways, I think they hate me so much that I still hear their voice at night. But point I want to make is that it is a long process. It is very stressful and frustrating, because there is so much that you can do, but at the end of the day, making a shoe wear is not making a t-shirt, a hoodie. It has the comfort, the wearability, the walkability. So there are a lot of different type of elements that you have to consider. But the satisfaction that you have once you created the product, and I guess Sam can confirm this once he finally put his hand on the final product, on the final prototype, I think that's repay all the nights and days and and discussion with the
long
suppliers.
meetings.
Yeah, a lot of meetings, because you also have to think that a shoe is not made by one supplier. You have probably 32 different suppliers that give all the elements. So first of all, kudos to Sam and Lionel. And of course Ricardo is not online with us, but I think those are the three main players that made the Unworld boots possible. And also again, even if I had that experience with the Entra One Meta, they're still like perfectioning that right now. So we are already 24 months into that production. I was masochist enough to go through another project that now is 18 months in. But the final product, and we've been showcasing here and there in a couple of conferences, the prototype is amazing, and I'm pretty sure that this is gonna be sold out in no time, because it's like an amazing piece of shoewear that everyone must have, especially for like Alpine wearables.
Fully agreed, my friend. Fully agree there. Marco, I want to kick the next one over to you. What role do the digital twins and avatars play in the broader strategy, both for TEMPLA and another one? especially in virtual environments?
Okay, so talking about this, I guess it's important to touch one aspect, that is the interoperability. The way we see digital is not only the combining physical and digital. At the end of the day, what is the real essence of our product is the NFT. The NFT is the digital identity of the product. It's the matrix, it's the blueprint of the product. Then you have the physical declination of the product, that is the product itself, in this case, our boot. And then you have the digital version, that is eventually an in-game asset, a digital wearable. So it is the translation of the physical asset into a digital space. Now, why I talk about interoperability? Because if I create a digital asset, in this case is what Lionel said about the digital wearables created by our partners Union Avatar, they're compatible only with the platforms on which Union Avatar is compatible. But if I want to have that asset also on, I don't know, a video game or a snow experience, a winter experience, sorry. I need to create the asset. I need to make it interoperable. So what we do at Another One, we are constantly working on solutions that allow our NFT to be interoperable with most platform possible. That way, I have multiple representation of the same assets, but that can be used in different platforms. So as of today, we're compatible with all the platforms, and the list is pretty long. That's is partnered with Union Avatar. We also, because we are a good partner with Sandbox, we're also thinking of a version on Sandbox that, thanks to the NFT scan feature, now it's possible to have the interoperability of the wearable. Maybe an avatar with all the TEMPLA suits on it, it will be cool. Because I know on Sandbox there is another of our partners, Mobler, that created the experience that is called Everest. So what is the best outfit to go to Mount Everest if not TEMPLA outfits, right, on Sandbox?
Fair point.
So this is the important part of our work, making possible the fruition of the digital version of the assets of the product in different platforms. Otherwise, it's just like going to a shopping center. I buy my pair of shoes. Then when I get out of the shopping center, the clerk say, "Hey, leave your shoes here. You cannot go out with your shoes." And it's like it's not worth the effort, right, to go to the shopping center. Meaning, it's not worth the effort to buy a product and then you cannot use it completely everywhere.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where we're aiming at, and also creating different token gated experience where eventually you can connect the experience offline with an experience online, and then you have some kind of connection between the two realm. So I guess that's will cover mostly the question that you ask.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Alrighty. Now here is where I kind of opened up the AMA part for questions from the audience, but we did not really get a whole lot of them that are specifically about the project. So I think we keep rolling with a couple more questions that we have prepared of our own in order to kind of try to wrap up more or less in the hour. Let's just give our best to sort of aim for slightly shorter answers. I have no problem going over time if you guys don't. Are we cool to maybe push a little bit past?
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Alrighty,
Yeah,
alrighty.
fine.
Sam, I want to kick this next one over to you then. How would you say the limited availability of the boots? We said that the supply is pretty limited, obviously. How do you think this plays into the overall strategy when it comes to both marketing in general and consumer engagement for the collection specifically?
I guess, I mean, as soon as you limit something, it like reduced availability and scarcity, similar to the NFT NFT artwork release, it creates desirability. Like, this is a default, this is a known. I think, though, that what is nice about the limited release of this boot is that it enables us to not go too deep first time round. Like, we're releasing something in 3 colorways, which is rad. We've got the triple black, the black with the white sole, and then a white version, and that's really nice. And limiting that to small number means that, you know, with any luck, there's a V2 coming out soon, and that will also be a limited release. So we're thinking about like pairing fabrications with outfits into boots, but rather than going into this strategy, which is just mass and you push it out there, we would rather, and this really speaks back to our manufacturing base, you know, making in Italy is not about, it's not a mass market exercise. So the whole strategy around this is trying to do quality over quantity. And I think that's really, that underpins, I think, the unit volume that we've got. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I like that. I like that. Just real quick, those V2s, are we talking about different colorways as well?
Yeah, well, you know, let's
Sam
focus
dropped
on
the bomb. He
let's
dropped the
focus
bomb
on-
already.
I have to try to claw out the answers as much as I can. But fair enough, fair enough. We can leave a little bit of mystery around it for next time.
Yeah, don't wait
but
for
look,
V2.
yeah.
Fair
Don't wait
enough.
for V2, and obviously, like as we said, like we partner with brands and organization on the long term. So with TEMPLA, the aim is to obviously have several other projects. Today we are talking about the footwear. We are probably going to have like some garments as well, potentially a V2 of the boots, but that's not the focus of today. What we have to focus on is the fact that, yeah, the boots will be made to order to start with. So as Sam said, we have 3 different colorways. So potentially, once we receive the orders from you, let's say, you will have, I don't know, you order the triple black. We might have like just 10 triple black, which might be produced out of the 500, because all the other orders, maybe people will be preferring to order, you know, the white version, you know. So that's the thing. There is not an equal supply for each colorway. It will be
Right.
it will depend on the order that we will receive during the sales window that will open. Okay. So that's very important to remember. So that's when we open the sale window on Monday, that's first come, first serve basis. So be quick. If you want to have your boots, we offer a 10% discount on that pre-sale on Monday. So take advantage of that discount. It's not every day that, you know, for a new product, you have a discount offer
Oh,
like
for sure.
straight away, straight off the bat. So yeah, made to order in Italy, very limited supply, first come, first serve. And yeah, you might, you know, order a pair and you will know how many pairs, you know, are already basically in circulation based on the NFT that will be paired with the boots. So it's also very, very transparent. And beyond the boots, like I said, we have also the digital asset, the artwork also that acts as a pass within another one and TEMPLA ecosystem. You also have the wearables. You also have the $150 voucher that is also accessible when you purchase the boots. So we have packed up like a lot of value, and not just like dropping a product and say, okay, buy it and we forget about it. No, we plan to deliver ongoing benefits. It's just the beginning of the journey. So yeah, join us.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's, I mean, it gives people a whole lot of reasons to actually be there for it, because, like you said, the amount of value packed into these is like pretty staggering, honestly. Marco, I want to kick the next question over to you, my friend. Now, obviously, we kind of said, right, the low supply is, Sam mentioned, kind of there to for a couple of reasons. One of them being so we don't go into something crazy big right away. So I'm not sure how much this was discussed, but what could be some future collaborations or projects between TEMPLA and another one? Have you gotten into it, or are you kind of like still waiting around a little bit?
Confidential.
Oh, that's confidential, as Leonard said. I won't say we won't consider it, but at the moment, I think the focus here is to have Templar embrace the Web3 world and creating for them the right platform to soft land into the Web3 community with the experience that Lionel mentioned before, thanks to the Union Avatar wearables, and get them used also to this kind of audience. Because
It's a very different
I'm
world.
sure that traditional audience for Templar will also be purchasing the boot, but there will be some from the Web3
Yeah.
community, and I'm sure that there would be a different kind of interaction, different kind of feedback that probably we need to take into consideration. And we are here to help also Templar because, as I said, we are an enabler. We are a digital enabler, not only for the consumer, but mostly for brands. Because what we do is we educate brands to educate their consumer to unlock the potential of a digital product. So here we are on a mission on to guide, in this case, Templa to surf or snowboard. I would say the opportunity and the challenges of the Web3 communities, and with the product that at this point, I guess exclusivity is and limited edition, limited collection is also a way to start interacting with the Web3 communities, because you know better than me that if we launch a collection of 10,000 boots, people would say 10,000, so it means that everyone has it.
Yeah.
500 is like it is limited. 500 is sparkle the interest of people and say 500, maybe I'll have one of those. So let's say that was the first lesson for introducing the Web3 community. So to answer your question, I cannot say anything. Lionel already
I think you said a lot. I think you said a lot with how much you incorporate
scolded
that.
me before even
Put a
answering.
red flag. Look, Sam already kind of dropped the bomb, so
We kind of have an idea.
yeah.
We kind of have an idea
Yeah.
where it's going.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
happy with the answer, regardless,
Yeah,
even though I
but
couldn't
definitely.
get specifics.
And I think my next here shoe scraper should be with the Templar boots on the winter era
Yeah.
of our game on Sandbox.
But
Love it.
you see, like typically, like if I like another, like maybe a shot in the dark, but let's say in our audience we have someone working in the Web3 video game industry, and they are developing a snowboard, like Cool Border at the time. Like I remember that game on PlayStation, you know, Cool Border. Let's say Cool Border Web3 Cool Border game. We could make literally our wearable compatible with that snowboard game, right? And have unique Templar wearables for the players, and then have a competition, online competition. People can win tokens, you know, NFTs, Templars gears, maybe whatever, you know. Then sky is the limit. But again, it's an entry point and make people unique online with the wearables. And like I said, we have you know, the ability to make it real, make it, even if it's digital, that's real. You know, that's not just throwing ideas up in the air and hope that it will work. We just have to find the right partners, and we are talking to different, you know, let's say, yeah, game developers from the Web 2 and the Web 3. So
Lots of
that will happen.
potential to play around with for sure. I love that. Lionel, I want to kick this one over to you. This is kind of something a lot to think about. Me personally, when I think about stuff like this, I kind of have a hard time picturing it because I know how quickly technology is moving. But for you, how do you kind of see the intersection of fashion and technology evolving in the next, let's say, 5 years? And what role do you think both of these companies, both Another One and Templa, will play in said evolution?
Look, what I really liked from the start with Templa, it has been a very like organic and dynamic conversation, right? Like we had, you can imagine that when we started talking, that was about 2 years ago. The Web3 market was different than it is now, okay? And in the meantime, that was quite bumpy and like, hard. So we have adapted our strategy constantly. Now, like to answer your question, again, with Templa, the aim, and I think I'm not, maybe some will correct me, but we are playing the long run. We want to establish long-term partnership. We are not considering each other as, let's say a service provider or a client. It's a partnership. That's the first, right? So now, like the technology in the fashion, that's something which is relatively new, but when Templa, as Sam said, that's a techwear brand, so they have a lot of tech embedded already, a membrane. They also have like a chip, like a Reco chip. So if people are, let's say, caught in an avalanche, like they can be spotted by the rescue team because of that chip, right? So that's something that it's also part of the DNA of the Templa making, so the tech in Templa is already there. The tech in our company is already there. Now, like how it will play out, on the long run, I think obviously AI will play a big part of it. I think the creatives, the 3D artists, will also play a big part. And I think that will link back to, or circle back to what Sam said when he starting basically designing the boots on his computer or on paper, that you have the vision of what you can do, and then what's the reality. Now with the technology and the AI combined, probably you will be able to connect the dots faster and go through the process that we went through, like much faster, because you will be assisted by an AI who could say, hey, this is possible, this is not possible. I'm going to give you a very simple example. During the process of the development, the boots have like straps, right? And the design, like on the exchange between Sam and Ricardo, the straps, we had different ways of strapping the boots and tidying them up. Then, like we had, what's the term, Sam? I always forget, like the term, the triangle, like that you use as well for.
The carabiner. Yeah, carabiner.
Yeah, the carabiner. So, and then the way that it was represented on the drawing, it was like, yeah, okay, it makes sense. But then, like going through basically when you try to make it work physically, the design or what was drawn and the way that the physics works, it didn't work. So that's basically a step that we could have, let's say, saved. That's a process where AI and technology can help, during the development process. And then, like, you obviously have more and more, and that's where like the EU is going with the smart garments, obviously having the digital product passport. That's going to that direction. And sustainability, the circular economy, to help people to make a conscious decision. So all of that on the long term will help people as well to know where the product are coming from. If there is also a previous owner, more like awareness around, what people wear. And obviously, and I'm a real true believer that eventually we will all own and showcase, our digital wardrobe, because we can't. That's probably the only thing that we can't. Not the only thing, but as a sneaker collector, I have a pile of sneakers, but there is only one pair that I can wear at a time. So I can I can show off my pairs on Instagram or on socials. Hey, he's the latest pair. And by the way, Marco has like pretty big, very like bangers, I would say. Yeah, there is only so many that you can present, but where you can also prove through the digital passport, or aka the NFT on chain, that you own the real one, but that you are not showcasing on socials just a fake pair.
Yeah.
That's next level. You know what I mean?
That's
where like
parts there, yeah.
And people will be able to evaluate the real value of your collection, or like your wardrobe if you want. So that's where I think we can connect the dots between, I would say, fashion and technology. Probably many other use cases, but that's I don't want to talk.
Sure, but authenticity, proving authenticity is one of the most important ones for sure, right? Because you can actually prove this is the thing that I'm talking about. It's not some knockoff. As good as it may look, as good as a knockoff it may be, it's not the actual thing, and I can prove that I have the actual thing. So that's definitely a big one. I want to slowly start wrapping things up by asking one question to each of you, and we'll kind of go in a circle. Lionel, I want you to be the first one to answer this, and like we said, we'll get an answer from everybody. But kind of attaching onto the previous question, right? When it comes to this, let's say, intersection of fashion and technology, what is some advice that you would have for aspiring digital fashion designers?
Just use our platform, because we have literally a module called Become a Creator, and soon enough we will have, like, same through another partnership, a very streamlined process for people to submit their design, either based on a brief from a brand, from another partner, and yeah, like I think now these days, with all the computers getting better and faster, stronger, having like a lot of tools available, a lot of tutorials online, people can try, their creativity on the digital fashion. And I think that's a way for them to break into that industry and to be recognized by potential, brands, and give them the opportunity. There, of course, there is the the limitation of the physique, but still, you still can have like a very cool jacket from, again, I take TEMPLA as an example, but then as a digital twin, you can have maybe in certain circumstances, a different unrealistic, representation of those wearable jackets. The same as with AR, and I kind of make the link with the previous question, and augmented reality, obviously, from the AR. You can have, make the product even cooler than they are, basically. So that's what I would say. Like, so the designer can put themselves out there and test the traction that they have from the community, but they can use our platform to do that as well.
Fair enough. Marco, what would be your piece of advice?
My piece of advice is always keep experimenting. This is what we do, and it's not only in terms of technology and new features, but also we like to get into the physical world. And I actually have here in my office a couple of prototypes that we did for, like, backpack gym bag, or jackets. We have the drip up jacket that's thermoreactive. Now we're I've been exploring different suppliers in China, from Guangzhou to Fujian, Shenzhen, to find who can replicate a certain let's say effect on the fabric that we want to do for a couple of new projects that we have. So experimenting is always the right thing to do, especially when you are at the cutting edge of technology. it is important. Don't be afraid to make mistake. And Sam can probably tell you, we went through like multiple iteration. They went through multiple iteration of the boots because again, it is normal. It is the learning curve. And be curious. Be curious because it is important to enhance the possibility through the feedback of the people, but you also need to instill the curiosity in them that you have yourself in terms of what you can do, what can you do to improve the current situation, right? So one side is the product, the other side is also the opportunity and the experience. So I guess, yeah, keep experimenting, and it gives a lot of benefit not only for yourself in terms of satisfaction, but also in terms of development of product.
When you're pushing the envelope, when you're trying to innovate, that's absolutely something that's necessary. So I fully agree with you there, my friend. Beautifully said. Sam, what advice would you give on this topic?
Yeah, I think, Marco, you put it really nicely in terms of experimentation. And I would add to that I think there's a trap these days for things to become extremely insular, to only be looking at one medium, and that's the one that's in front of you. And then oftentimes this is the digital medium. But I think that if you are going to try and create something new, it's really important to take inspiration from lots of different places. And from the standpoint of experimentation, I think to be open to serendipity or open to different channels of input, I think this is really the key. It's so easy for things to start to all look similar because everyone's drawing on the same kind of inspiration, and this is such a common thing in fashion in particular. But if you're open to sort of taking your own path and taking inspiration from somewhere that doesn't appear to be the norm, I think this is when beautiful things happen, and this is when the conversation opens up. So yeah, keep your eyes open and allow things to come into your practice or to inspire you that may seem initially quite tangential or not related, but you just never know where it's going to go. So in the spirit of experimentation, be open. Yeah.
Inspiration can definitely come from all manner of things, right? So it's maybe not even going to be something related to fashion per se, right?
Completely,
Maybe you're walking down the street and you see something and that kind of just sparks a little bit of creativity, right? It can be lots of variables there. Beautiful. Love the answer. We are slowly but surely going to close this AMA up, but just before we do, I would like to ask each of you to just share any parting words that you might have. Lionel, why don't we start with you?
Sorry, you want me to do what? Sorry, I didn't hear.
Just any parting words, any message to the audience, any sort of note that you want to end on.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
Okay.
All good, my friend.
Just guys, take the opportunity to be part of the digital revolution. We are bringing this very unique product to the market, limited quantity, and a very true digital experience. Full of packed with full of value and ongoing benefits, and that's just the starting point of getting more experiences through the garments. Like it's, I think that's the what I will want the audience to remember. Our digital experience in general, but with TEMPLA obviously here, starts with the physical boots, and we deliver the digital experience, but the ongoing benefits will be there for the long term.
Beautiful. Love that. Sam, what do you want to leave the audience with?
Yeah, it occurred to me actually that the idea, or we haven't really discussed the Unworld, what that is. And to just finish off what Lionel was saying about the digital extension of the boot. So part of the NFT, also the NFT artworks really are an exploration of these unworlds. So when we formalized the concept of what the boot is, it was about the fact that the digital sphere is this open-ended possibility. It's a world of possibility. And so the Unworld boot is about exploring worlds when you have this limited possibility. So in terms of engaging in the project, if you manage to secure one of these boots, you get to then explore our interpretation of Unworld. And it goes from something very known, like a snowscape type world, into this super mythic, crazy space. And yeah, jump in and have a look, because there's some cool stuff there. Yeah.
Absolutely love that. Thank you, Sam. Marco, what do you want to leave the good people with?
I'll just leave saying that either you're a snowboard fan or not, I think you definitely need to put your hands on these special boots, not only because of the amazing design, but also because all the work and all the passion that has been put beside the production. And it's just being part of an experiment that will definitely lead to something beautiful. And it's buying a piece of history here. I want to be a little bit sentimental, and but it is true. It is definitely a piece of history for another one. Definitely a piece of history for TEMPLA, because it signs the line of a new kind of dimension, and that's what Sam says about the Underworld, the name of the collection, like entering in a new dimension. So yeah, it's just like be part of this piece of story.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I think those are some really, really awesome messages to end things on. First off, thank you three amazing gentlemen for being here to represent this collaboration in full and kind of explain to the people exactly what went into all of this and why they should get involved. It's an amazing product. It's a very, very limited collection, like we said. It's going on pre-sale on Monday, and it's a first come first serve deal. So really, really, really make sure that you're quick with it if you want to get your hands on one of these, because I'm feel pretty confident that they're gonna fly off the shelf super, super quickly. Thanks to everyone who tuned in as well, whether just listening or also watching us. It has been nothing short of a pleasure to host this AMA. Thanks also for sticking around for quite a bit over an hour that we initially intended. I think that's pretty much everything. Thank you, everybody, so much. It was an absolute blast, and we'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye everyone. Bye bye.